Okay, we're back and rather forward, not really going backwards here. Um, let's do the professor, Dr. Dolphy Gilpin, and let's look at Mercury here in this partial portion of the periodic table showing group 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 with the halogens and the noble gases. But here we are Mercury, Hg, 80, and you see 0.6 there. The 20 is not shown, it's 200.6 or 200.59. Mercury, Hg. There it is. Above it is cadmium, and below it is copper rucium. All right, so we're continuing with mercury. Atomic number 80, atomic mass of 200.59. Mercury, the only metal to be liquid at room temperature. And we have said that already. It was known to. So let's move on. Once again, Hydrargyrum was his name, and that's why we get the Hg instead of My for mercury. Now the element conducts electricity. It is used in electrical switches, thermometers, and contain and rather thermometers and certain types of dose alarm or alarm clocks. Yeah. So it's used in alarm clocks, dose alarm. Another unique property of mercury is very, very poisonous, especially in the organic state, the organomercuric compounds. I take methyl mercury. It's one of the most poisonous form of mercury there, methyl mercury. So the organocompounds of mercury is very poisonous, very toxic. And then we have another form. It's to be known quite poisonous and to human. The element is also known as quicksilver because of its quickness, its mobility. You put it down and it just runs. The mobility is very much known as quicksilver. And silver is the appearance, a shiny silvery appearance. And for that, it was named after the planet Mercury. And therefore, we get it to be named Mercury now. It was named after the planet Mercury because of the mobility, its quickness. And Mercury is one of the fastest planets in the solar system there. Now, evidence of the use of mercury was found in China, India, Egypt, and traces of mercury was found going back to 3,500 years old in Egyptian tombs. The mercury is extremely toxic and it can cause damage to liver, nerves, kidney if ingested, and to other organs of the body. If ingested, it like I said, it's very toxic. And in its form and also in the organomercurous form, that's where the toxicity is greatly increased. And if it's getting the body via a wound, an open wound, then you could expect uh, complication as well. And if you inhale it, you will expect complication. And if you ingest it by mouth, serious complications there. Mercury, as we go on, Hydrargyrum is original name, hence HG and not MY for Mercury. But Mercury, as it said, because of the planet Mercury and its mobility. So the places where you see mercury most evidence, you could see it in thermometers. Nowadays they're using a lot of electronic thermometers and things like that. But going back, you will see that mercury is most evident in light bulbs and compact fluorescence light bulb and mercury vapor. Uh, the light bulbs used with mercury vapor, and one of the chemical used uh, in thermometers and barometers. But for safety purpose, most of the time now they make less use of this mercury, and we're using some modern means for thermometers. Like I said, a lot of electronic thermometers and other thermometers are being used for, and also barometers. So for that purpose, mercury is becoming less common in its use today. Now, cinnabar is the ore from which mercury is extracted. Cinnabar, and cinnabar is equivalent to mercury sulfide. And to extract this pure mercury, the ore is grounded up and heated to a temperature of about 1076 degrees Fahrenheit. Silver 5 equal F minus 32 over 9 will give you 580 degrees centigrade. So it's heated with oxygen and the process. In the process, mercury vapor escape from the ore. So you eat the ore, the cinnabar ore, with oxygen, and the mercury vapor escape from the ore, and sulfur dioxide is removed according to the CNR, and CNR means the College of Natural Resources. It's according to the College of Natural Resources. Mm-hmm. The metal is then condensed and washed with nitric acid to purify it, and then it's distilled. Now, mercury form alloy with gold, silver, zinc, cadmium, which are called amalgams. And through these amalgams, mercury can be used to extract gold from rocks. So because of this property, we could use the mercury to extract gold from rocks. And we also use the mercury to purify gold. Now, when mercury comes in contact with gold, the gold dissolves into the mercury, and then the two are separated with the mercury being distilled off. So I think that by some form of fractional distillation, because every element has this different temperature from which it will melt, from which it will sublime, and things like that. So if we heat it at a certain temperature, a mixture of gold and mercury, then one will be distilled first and leaving the other, and hence we could separate the two. So here we have now mercury nitrate or mercury nitride, HgCl2 mercury 2 chloride, which is previously used in wound disinfectant. And HgCl2 is an antiseptic used to kill bacteria. Like I said, we will be using less and less of this now because of the toxicity of mercury. But if I guess this is the only thing available or tangible, then they will still use it for antiseptic purposes. Now, mercury sulfide is used to make a red paint, and the pigment is called vermilion. So this HGS, mercury sulfide, is used to make red paint, and the pigment is called vermilion. Now, HGO is a mercurous oxide, and this is used to make mercury batteries. Mercury in its olden time was the primary use to treat syphilis. Yeah, in the primary days, it was used to treat syphilis. I don't know how much the frequency of it being used today to treat syphilis, as there are many modern ways to treat syphilis at the moment with penicillin shots and concentrated penicillin and ampicillin, and that will help in the moderate recovery. But I guess in the very serious or malignant form, then we have to use some stronger medication for the syphilis. Those of penicillin and ampicillin and Hydrargyrum and other antibiotics. And as it comes down, then we could use augmenting and less concentrated antibiotics. So it was back in the 20th century. Now we are in the 21st century, I believe. That's what the time mercury was used to treat syphilis. But like I said, in modern times we have different methods, but we could always revert back to it if it's not tangible. Now, use of the other forms of pills, you have mercury pills. It was used as mercury pills back in the days. And probably the most deadly form of mercury is the methyl mercury. That's one of the organomercury compound. Methyl mercury, one of the most deadliest forms of mercury. Okay, we're going to use a third step in this mercury. Mercury, atomic number 80, atomic mass of 200.59. We will return to complete our introduction to mercury.